Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Wakar Kadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to the Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out of this news article. This news article that I'm about to bring out, and I'm gonna bring out the scriptures first before I get to the news article for this sit-down lesson. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3 of the blue letter Bible of the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, For when then they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as a travail upon that woman with a child, they shall not escape. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. And this is a news article from RT.com as of September 21st, 2023, and it reads, it says, no ground for Ukrainian peace talks, Kremlin mentions. It says, in the current circumstances, Moscow has no choice but to continue its military operation, Dmitry Peskov has mentioned. It says, Russia is ready to seek diplomatic solution to the conflict in the Ukraine, but so far there is no basis for such talks to start. The Kremlin press secretary has said the word negotiations is being heard more and more often in relations to the crisis in Ukraine. Dmitry Peskov said in an interview in Russia's Channel 1 on Wednesday. It says Russia President Vladimir consistently explains the position of Russia's role, which has never given up on the idea of such negotiations, but which assert that at the moment there is no ground for that assumption, he explained. According to the Kremlin spokesperson, of the view of the circumstances, Russia has no choice but to keep pursuing its goals in Ukraine throughout the military means. Moscow and Kyiv has not sat down at the negotiation tables since the talks in Istanbul in late March of 2022, a month after the outbreak of the conflict. Russia, which initially expressed optimism on the peace process, later accusing Ukraine of backtracking on all progress in achieving in Turkey, saying it has lost trust in Kyiv's negotiators. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky used his trip to the UN General Assembly this week to rally international support for the so-called peace forum. He told world leaders in New York that this plan must provide a real chance to end the aggression on the terms of the nation which was attacked. It says, among the other things, Zelensky peace forum calls on Russia to withdraw to its pre-2014 borders, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. It says, pay reparations and submit to war crimes, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. It says Moscow reject this plan when it was first put forward last year, describing it as unrealistic and a sign of Kyiv's unwillingness to seeking a diplomatic solution. And it says U.S. President Joe Biden stated in a speech in the UN on Tuesday that Washington support a negotiation settlement, but stressed that Russia's price for peace, which according to him was Ukraine's capitalization, if I pronounce that right, Ukraine territories and Ukraine's children, was unacceptable. It says during a UN Security Council meeting Wednesday at Zelensky's will present Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov. Also, Moscow was not giving up on the idea of peace talks. It says if the U.S. is also interested in the dialogue, it could start by giving a command to Kyiv to cancel a decree signed last autumn, which banned Zelensky from wholly ending negotiation with Putin, the Russian diplomatic suggested. I'm gonna read that again. Salakim, get back to the 1 Thessalonians again. And this is This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. Then I'm going to get back to the First Thessalonians 5 and 3. This is Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And I'm going to start at verse 7 as well, too. Might as well. Right, whether the Russia-Ukraine situation is heating up. And Russia said they're going to continue the processing of this military operation, which took place 2 years ago and is still going on to this day. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Now I'll get back to the First Thessalonians. Then I'm going to close off the sit-down lesson. And this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, and it reads the Holy Scriptures. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, and sudden destruction come upon them, as a travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson is edifying of this recent news article from RT.com as of September the 21st, 2023, and it reads again. It says, no ground for Ukraine peace talks, Kremlin mentions. In the current circumstances, Moscow has no choice but to continue its military operation, Dmitry Peskov has mentioned. So with that, once again, hopefully that lesson was edifying of this sit-down lesson. And I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Makakadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through 4 corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.